to the Enterprise Center Business Incubator since 2003. Welcome, this is a great night.
I figured I needed to slow you all down a little bit after Mr. Davis fired you up. And I think this evening I want to definitely change the tone a little bit. Because we all know the value of the NAACP and the great work that they do. The NAACP and other organizations like it are not about the organizations or the people that are in them. They are about the people. And the people are us. And we all have a role to play. It's great to be an advocate for causes, social causes, economic causes, or any other causes. But in order for those causes to come to fruition, the people have to participate. And so I'm not here tonight to talk about the social side of what the NAACP and other organizations like it do. I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about business and the importance of business in our lives and in the well-beings of our communities. I'm going to tell you a little story. It was a slow day in a little Greek village. The rain was beating down and the streets are deserted and times are tough. Everybody's in debt and everybody owes somebody something. We're all living on credit. On this particular day, a rich German tourist is driving through the village and he stops at a local hotel. He goes inside and he lays a 100-euro note on the desk. And he tells the hotel owner he wants to inspect the rooms upstairs in order to be able to pick one of the rooms for the evening. The owner gives him some keys, and as soon as the visitor walks upstairs to go check out the rooms, the hotelier grabs that 100-euro note, runs next door to pay his debt to the butcher. The butcher takes that 100-euro note and runs down the street to pay off his account with the supplier of feed and fuel. The supplier of feed and fuel gets up and goes over to the pig farmer and pays him with that 100-euro note. That individual gets up and runs over to the local tavern where he has run up a tab that amounts to, you guessed it, 100 euros. Now, the owner of the tavern's younger brother is sitting at the bar. He's commiserating because he's had to sleep on his brother's couch last night because he had an argument with his wife. And the owner, wanting to get him off his couch, get rid of the drama in his house, and wanting to pacify his wife, slips that 100-euro note to his younger brother and he says, "Why don't you go across the street to the hotel and get a room for the night? Get a good night's rest, and then in the morning, you go home and make up with your wife." The younger brother says, "Well, gee whiz, I remember how lumpy that couch was. That thing hurt my back. I don't want to spend another night on that couch." So he gladly goes across the street to the hotel and puts that 100-euro note on the desk. And the hotelier gives him the keys to a room. As soon as the younger brother turns his back, The hotel owner takes that 100-euro note and sticks it back on the counter. Just at that moment, down the stairs comes that German tourist. And he says to the hotel owner, these rooms are not satisfactory. I'm leaving. And he grabs that 100-euro note, sticks it in his pocket, and leaves town. What just happened here? Nobody produced anything. Nobody earned anything. However, the whole village is now out of debt and looking forward to the future with a lot more optimism. So what's the purpose of this story? Well, just like that little Greek village, this town, Grange, and other towns like it, have to appreciate our small businesses. But we also have to understand the value of small businesses supporting each other, so that your community's economy is able to maintain itself by recycling its revenues locally. We need to support each other, support ourselves. My mother used to say, there's no justice, just us. So this is about us and what we do and what we have to do. We need to support our businesses and our communities because that's where we get the wherewithal to make a difference. The kind of differences that Senator Davis is asking us to make, to support our communities and show that we support our own communities. And this is the ultimate goal of the NAACP and organizations like the NAACP, that we realize our own sense of self-sufficiency. Pardon me. Our own sense of self-sufficiency. The Small Business Center Network of North Carolina understands this premise. And I'm here tonight to represent the Small Business Center Network. We are community-based advisors and providers of high-quality and readily accessible entrepreneurship training, confidential one-on-one business counseling, spot-on referrals, and empowering information for existing and prospective small business owners. That's what our goal is. We know in times when jobs are hard to come by and your take-home pay won't take you home, you have to use your own talents and skills and expertise to do the things that you do to make your family secure and your life better. So each of the 58 community colleges in the Community College Network in North Carolina has a designated small business center. And I'm pleased to say that over the past year, we served clients in all 100 counties in the state of North Carolina. And our aim is to continue to provide direct economic impact throughout North Carolina and to act as a force multiplier with our partners. They say that in order for a community to recycle its resources properly and self-sustain, a dollar earned in that community needs to recycle itself 7 times before it leaves its community. That means I can't get my paycheck from Lenoir Community College and drive out of my community and spend that money and expect my community to prosper. I can't do it. We talk about education and how it's important for our children to be properly educated. And we're worried about getting the funds to make that happen. And Senator Davis is working diligently to make sure that happens. But what about us? How do we ensure that after we pay for the children's education, how do we ensure that they have jobs and opportunities here in their hometown, and that they don't have to take that education and go someplace else and support other communities and other states? We pay for their education, and they go out and build other communities. How many times have you heard young people say, I can't wait till I get out of here. I have nothing to come back to. We have to figure out a way to keep our youth engaged in our communities. And one of the ways to do that is through entrepreneurship and business ownership. Small Business Center Network takes pride in knowing that our clients are a true representation of the makeup of the state of North Carolina. In fact, the number of women and minorities served by the Small Business Center Network exceed that of the state average. And the percentage of urban and rural businesses served by the network matches that of the state. Our partnership with the Department of Health and Human Services Division of Vocational Rehab reflects our commitment to assist even the most challenged individual to realize their dream of business ownership and to become as self-sufficient as possible. Our network serves a large military and veteran population. And the Small Business Administration selected the Small Business Center Network in North Carolina as the lead agency to provide boots to business training to all transitioning military members throughout our state, thus providing a pathway to business ownership for our returning heroes. During fiscal year 2014-15, the network, this is the statewide network, conducted 7,300 entrepreneurship training events that were attended by 96,500 people looking for opportunities. We served almost 14,000 clients with our consulting services, spending over 34,000 hours of counseling service time with them to help them create almost 6,300 jobs, to create and retain almost 6,300 jobs, and to start over 1,100 businesses at a very, very surprisingly reasonable cost of about $988 per job created or retained. And I think that's an excellent return on our investment. On the local level, what are we doing? What am I doing? What's my office doing? Well, I'm not going to quote you statistics, but I will tell you what we are committed to doing. We're committed to provide high quality and readily accessible assistance to help and foster entrepreneurship, to increase the success rate and the number of viable businesses, and to create jobs in Lenoir, Greene, and Jones counties. That's my charge. But I can't do it alone. I need the people to come and access the services. We offer free and confidential consulting services. We have a resource library where you can do research free internet access. We do one-on-one assistance in putting together a business plan and a variety of these business management workshops that we put on monthly, weekly, all free to the public. And we know there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed. It takes a lot of deliberation and due diligence for somebody to decide that they want to start a business. Because, we've all heard all the horror stories. Yeah, I heard 99 out of 100 small businesses fail within the first 24 hours. Well, that's just not true. But what is true is the majority of businesses, large or small, will fail due to inadequate planning and the lack of advocacy. Everybody needs somebody. And we strive to be that advocate for Lenoir, Greene, and Jones counties. Some of the issues that need to be addressed in business planning are making sure that their business idea is realistic, making sure there's a market for your business, learning the processes and procedures that are involved in getting that business going, and determining for real whether you have the desire, the stamina, and the perseverance to be successful at that business. And I tell my clients, if you want to be successful in business, and you want to start your own business, there are 3 things that you need to do. The first thing is, you need to pick something that you love. You gotta have a passion for it. Because when times get tough, you can't back away from it if you love it. And the second thing, make sure you're good at it. Make sure you're good at it. Take any kind of classes or workshops or seminars, or take the advice of anybody who seems to know something about it. I think it was Muhammad Ali that said, I seek advice from all around me, but never permission.
Yeah, that's good.
So you have to make these decisions. You want to make sure you're good at it. That's the second one. And the third thing is, you need to make sure you can make a living at it. Because you expect for this business to be there for your family. And it's going to do either augment your current income or replace that income and support your family and the future of your family. Maybe pass it on down generations. So planning is crucial, and we're there to help you plan. Some of the challenges that we have when approaching or trying to assist potential business owners are how to develop communication with everybody, because everybody thinks differently. Everybody thinks differently. And sometimes it takes a while to build a good rapport with someone. Some people, it takes a while for them to open up to you. We have long-term successful businesses in our communities that refuse to come to our workshops because they feel that if somebody sees them at the workshop, they're going to think they don't know what they're doing. Nobody ever learned anything from themselves. We can only learn from external influence. You don't have to believe everything you hear, but you certainly need to listen if somebody has something to say. And then you assess it and how it will apply to you and your particular circumstances. So we don't tell you what to do. In fact, people don't come to me for answers. They come to me to find out what the questions are that they need to deal with as they approach business ownership or entrepreneurship. So communication is important. We also need to keep your confidence high and also keep you grounded and realistic. So we help you set goals, short-term goals, and long-term goals for success in the business. And there's a distinct relationship between long-term goals and short-term goals in any endeavor. From our approach, we tell people your long-term goals must be realistic. Because if your long-term goals are not realistic, I guess Yogi Berra said, if you don't know where you're going, you just might wind up there. And that's what happens. Short-term goals have to be achievable because you use the short-term goals to get to your long-term goals. And if your long-term goals are realistic, then your short-term goals there must be a series of short-term goals that you can set that will get you there. So everybody's on a different plan of attack for their business. I mean, you look through your community. Fast food, you've got McDonald's, Burger King, Hardee's, Wendy's, Jack in the Box. They all sell burgers, fries, and shakes. So they're all alike in that respect. They all have a sign out front. And that sign has red, gold, and white in it. Check it out the next time. In that way, they're all alike. But once you get inside those doors, you see that each one of them has their own plan. So you go into one and everybody's wearing a visor, and you go to another one, everybody's wearing plastic gloves, another one, they all have an apron. So now they're starting to differ and show their own individuality. One of them wraps their sandwich in aluminum foil. Another one wraps it in wax paper. So in those ways, they distinguish themselves. And small business owners, when you're starting your business and the business planning process, these are the kinds of things that we want to help you flesh out early on in the process. So you prove to yourself that you can do this. And that's how we try to keep that confidence level high, because every time you do that, you are meeting a short-term goal. You're taking another step toward reaching your long-term goal. I'm very, very proud to say that we have quite a few small business startups in the communities that I am charged with being an advocate for. Every year at the Lenoir County Chamber Awards meeting, the Small Business Center has nominated one business, one of our clients, to be the Microenterprise of the Year. In 2002, the very first one that we did, was Olco Electric in the building right next door. The Grange is represented. And some of the others, they're spread out between Greene County, Jones County, and Lenoir County. And that's good because we want to be representative of everybody. Out of the 14 businesses over the last 14 years, 9 of those businesses have been minority owned, and about 6 of them have been owned by females. So we are reaching out to the community at large. The last thing that one of the last things that we try to do also is determining an individual's ability to succeed or to learn what they need to learn to succeed about the business side of the business. And a lot of people say, I know how to do that thing that I do, but the business side just escapes me. And so we try to couch the business counseling or business management counseling in terms of capability. You can do this. And put it in terms that people feel comfortable with. If you can approach business ownership on your own terms, you're more likely to be successful. And so we put you in charge. We'll not write your business plan for you, but we will assist you every step of the way. We want that plan to be representative of what you want it to be. Those businesses that need financing, we work with them to make sure that they're able to prove to a lender, whether be it traditional or non-traditional, that they can be successful. And that they can make that living for their families that they promised themselves that they could do. And we will stay with you beyond the startup into operation years, right on through as long as you will have us as your business advisor. So for that, you need a self-assessment. You need to develop a business model that will plot the organization, operations, management, marketing strategies, and the financial planning for that business so that you can have a good plan for startup growth and expansion and even exit strategies. I'm here tonight to tell you that the Lenoir Community College Small Business Center is dedicated to help our clients through this process. We're available to you so that we can assist and advise on these methods that you will need in order to be successful. We need your participation in your community. I'd like to thank Mr. Anthony Hall, the Grange chapter of the NAACP, the Frank Alumni Association, for giving me the opportunity to come out and speak a little bit about what we do at the Small Business Center this evening.